What's up guys and welcome back to Gladiators Tennis, and yes, this is a re-upload of an old video about Roger Federer, about his career, titles and money that we've taken down a long time ago because it was just getting an embarrassing amount of views, and we've actually put a lot of effort into making the video, and I think it turned out really good. It's probably one of my favorite videos on the channel, so I decided to use this opportunity to not only re-upload that video but also discuss a little bit the details about our split with Areg. Guys, you've been speculating that it had something to do with monetization. No, absolutely not. This channel is not generating nearly enough money to actually fight over it. And no, my dad did not call Areg because Areg was taking over the channel. No, that's nonsense, guys. But anyways, let's get to the video, and I really hope you enjoy it.
What's up guys and welcome back to Gladiators Tennis, and today's episode is dedicated completely to Roger Federer because after his... Man, I can't say it.
I'll take that pain for you. His retirement.
Yeah, so after that, it only made sense for us to do a summary of his career.
Only his career, not his whole life, because he's not exactly dead, you know?
Right.
So it made sense to do only about his career, but it hurts the same as if he was dead. Almost.
No.
Not exactly, but yeah.
But what sucks is that the guy's just way too good. So, you know, we're gonna do the highlights of his career. But then the problem is that his whole career is a highlight. So what we decided to do in the end is to do the highlights of the highlights of his career, in our opinion.
And plus we can't even f up because everybody knows about him and his career, so we gotta be careful. Actually, we can f up. We're gonna show that to you. Don't worry.
Let's go. Roger's professional career started in the year 1998, and that's when my sister was born.
Okay.
Yeah, so before that he wasn't technically considered a pro.
But nothing can stop Roger from winning Grand Slams, of course. So even when he wasn't a pro, he already won Wimbledon Junior.
Yeah, and fun fact, Roger was actually vegetarian until the age of 16.
Can you follow at least a bit the script?
All right, then now let's move on to Roger's first professional title.
Milano.
Yeah, so Milan 2001. That's where Roger takes his first title at the age of 19. Areg, was this really necessary?
500%. Want some? And that same year, Federer plays Wimbledon, where he meets Pete Sampras. And you know that feeling when you play against your childhood idol for the first time and you already beat him?
No.
Loser. Me neither. But Roger does. Okay?
You know what feeling we are familiar with though? Losing in first round.
Of Roland Garros, no?
Well, Areg, the location doesn't really matter. But yeah, he loses in the first round of Roland Garros and then takes the title in London.
Just London.
Wimbledon.
Grisha doesn't think that it's important to mention that it was Wimbledon, but it was Wimbledon, so I'm gonna say it.
Wait, what?
That's where Federer beats Philippoussis in the final and gets his first Wimbledon title.
So at this point, Roger is starting to slowly become unstoppable because in 2004, he replaces Andy Roddick on the #1 spot.
Roddick was a legendary tennis player, but I'm sure that he would have even better career as a comedian, we all know.
You just unfortunately can't have it all, you know, and that match
Well, you
was
can.
so... Well,
You selfish bastard.
Right. Okay, now a bit of a spoiler alert and record. So the #1 spot becomes reserved for Roger Federer for the next 237 consecutive weeks. And that might have something to do with the fact that from 2003 to 2008, he won 2 Grand Slam tournaments consecutively over 5 years. From 2003 to 2007, it was Wimbledon, and from 2004 to 2008, US Open.
Incredible. I think he was a bit annoying for the opponent already.
Even for the audience, you know, it was always like...
Roger,
Yeah.
of course. Well, at this point you can see that Roger became this unhuman human, but even people like him have nightmares. And his nightmare, of course, was Nadal, his biggest rival. But in 2007, Roger beat Nadal in Hamburg on clay in 3 sets, 2-6, 6-2, 6-0 with a bagelish.
Yeah, but let's not run too far away from the timeline. In that 2004 year, Roger also beats Leighton Hewitt in the final of the US Open. He doesn't just beat him though, he freaking double bagels him. The score was 6-love, 7-6, 6-love. And just so you understand, it's Leighton Hewitt in the final of the US Open. Like, it's almost disrespectful at this point.
As Grisha said, let's not run away too much from the timeline. Let's sprint, all right, to 2009.
Yeah, so even though Federer did beat Nadal on clay in 2007, by the year 2009, he still hasn't won a single Grand Slam on clay.
But that's just because Nadal is the king of clay, and only in that day he was the generous king of clay. But normally on a Grand Slam on clay, he's the god of clay.
And that means that 3 years prior to 2009, Federer kept losing to Nadal in the final of Roland Garros. But this time things changed, because Robin Soderling defeated Nadal in the 4th round, giving Federer that long-awaited opportunity to get his first dirty Grand Slam.
And goddamn did he take that opportunity to win his first
And last,
Grand Slam. Dirty Grand Slam, all right? And that was relieving because Roger is not exactly famous for taking advantage of opportunities, you know? You will see that later, so yeah.
now if that wasn't enough euphoria for Roger, that same year he takes his 6th Wimbledon title, defeating Andy Roddick in an epic 5-set match. With that, he adds his 15th Grand Slam trophy to the shelf, beating Pete Sampras's previous record of 14.
Not a bad tournament, but after that things don't go too well for Roger. He only wins 2 Grand Slams for the next 8 years. Did I just say only 2 Grand Slams, like if it's not a big deal, nothing special?
Yeah,
know?
you did, but the thing is, when we're talking Roger Federer, 2 major titles over 8 years is really not that good. And apart from that, in 2016, he gets injured for the first time. Well, heavily injured for the first time, to a point where he has to stay away from tennis for quite some time. And what's funny is that it didn't even happen on the court, but rather preparing a bath for his daughters, which is kind of cute. Not the fact that he got injured, but the fact that he was bathing his daughters.
I hope the daughters were clean, at least.
Yeah, anyway, according to him, he did a very simple movement of turning around and hurt a crack in his knee, and that was it. He had to get a surgery. But honestly, good thing it happened that way and not on the court, because if the same thing happened on the court under, you know, with a quick movement or something, or under a lot of stress, it could have been way worse.
A shower can be stressful.
After this mini tragedy, it was time for one of the most remarkable moments of tennis history, the 2017 final of the Australian Open. The 2 gods of tennis mythology did a massive comeback, scheduling the deciding battle on the Rod Laver Arena in Melbourne.
And it was one of the most emotional matches because, you know, none of them was expecting to be there playing another Grand Slam final, yet there they were. And Roger took that final, and after he acted so humble, like, oh, I didn't expect to win this tournament once again, what did he do? Once again, wins in Australia, of course. This time in the final, he beats Cilic. And of course, as Roger's profession is, he cries. I think he dropped more tears than sets in his career. Anyway, with that, he won his 20th last Grand Slam and became world #1 once again. And that gave him this new record of being the oldest world #1.
And another record of Roger Federer is the most wins at Grand Slam tournaments, which is 369. So remember when Areg told you about Roger not being too good at taking advantage of the opportunities he's given? Well, in 2019, he plays the final of Wimbledon against Novak Djokovic.
I know, I can't listen about this.
They play a very long and beautiful 5-set match that Federer ends up losing, having had 2 match points. Actually, championship points. Probably one of the worst days for all the Federer fans.
Yes.
But let's move on.
Let's move on to Basel. In 2019, Roger wins there for a 10th time. And you will never guess, but this man gets emotional. But this time it was kind of logical because, well, he was in that tournament for the first time as a ball boy, and now he left the stadium as this, you know, 10th time champion, national and international idol, you know, so it's logical, it's fine.
Yeah, by the way, can a man be any closer to perfection? Like, listen to me. So the guy ends his career with a beautiful number 20 on the number of Grand Slams that he wins. Takes his last title in his hometown in Basel, making it his 10th title, and has 2 beautiful pairs of twins.
There's something that could help, you know, he's not perfect because he's not subscribed to our channel, you know?
Guys.
So just subscribe and you will be perfect. Not like Roger, right? You will be perfect.
Also, you know, Roger Federer is the guy who came up with the idea of the Laver Cup, which in my opinion is probably one of the most entertaining tournaments to watch right now.
Which is where he finished his marvelous career at the age of 41. He cried a bit, but the world cried a bit also this time, and we maybe also cried a bit. It was sad, but also very beautiful because he played doubles with someone special, with his rival, friend, brother from another mother, Rafael Nadal. So it was a magical match, you know, to finish that way. It was very beautiful.
Yeah, so he ended his career like that, but he promised to stay active in the tennis community and keep performing the role of possibly the best ambassador of any sport could wish for.
There's no secret behind it, you know. I mean, definitely a very talented player.
So Glads, if you're still watching, you're real Glads, you know. So now it's time to count Roger's money.
So let's quickly get through Roger's prize money. So over his career, he made $130 million approximately, meaning prize money meaning just the money he won by playing the tournaments. That's impressive, but as we all know, most of the money that tennis players make come from endorsements. And as you might kind of assume, Federer is the kind of guy that can influence many.
You think so?
That means that very many brands are willing to sign a contract with him. And right now we're gonna list all of them in order from our least favorite to our most favorite. Okay, let's go. Moët Chandon, Switzerland Tourism, Credit Suisse, Rolex, Gillette, Nike, Barilla, Wilson, NetJets, Lind, and Mercedes-Benz.
Okay, I'll cook later. Don't worry. By the way, Mercedes, I don't know if you noticed, but we put you on the top spot, you know, like as the most favored one. So if you're flattered by that and you want to some contract something, few G-Wagons over here, we can discuss. Thanks.
If you've been paying close attention, you probably noticed that we didn't mention two pretty important brands that Federer is currently representing. That's Uniqlo and On Running. And that's because we decided to save it for the end. We call this portion of the video the quick and easy way to make 600 million Roger Federer way.
My job is very hard here.
So the year is 2018. It's time to renew Roger Federer's contract with Nike. And when the time to renew does come, Federer decides to ask for better conditions. Nike doesn't agree with those conditions, so Federer decides to let them go. And then signs a contract with a bit of a lesser known Japanese brand, Uniqlo. However, he doesn't just sign any contract, it's a contract for 300 million over 10 years. If we do the quick maths, that's 30 million per year and 2.5 million per month. And what's funny is that the contract doesn't have a retirement clause, meaning even if Roger Federer retires, he's still getting paid. What's even more funny is that Uniqlo don't make shoes, meaning the shoes that Federer is going to wear on the court are his to choose. So what Federer decides to do is to just keep playing in the Nike shoes without getting paid for approximately the next 3 years until he comes across a Swiss company that's even less known than Uniqlo and signs a deal with them. On Running. And honestly, at least in the tennis world, On Running wasn't really that known or really cared about until obviously Roger Federer came in and became the proud owner of 3%. Meaning that when the company went on public trading and was valued at about $10 billion, Roger also became the proud owner of $300 million. And all these deals and contracts put Federer on a very exclusive list containing only 7 athletes who made over $1 billion while still active. Just to put prize money and endorsements in perspective, in 2020, Roger Federer only played one tournament, losing in semi-final of the Australian Open to Novak Djokovic. That year he made 90 million, only 300,000 came from that semi-final.
We hope you've enjoyed that portion of the video and hopefully learned how to make 600 million quick and easy, but now it's time for the fun facts.
We can't wait to go to the fun facts section of the video, but first of all we have to dedicate some time to Roger's records because some of them are just untouchable. So yeah.
And let's start with the most untouchable one. Most consecutive weeks, number 1, 237. Oldest number 1, at the age of 36. 1,526 matches without retiring, meaning not ever retiring from a professional match. 6 ATP finals, winning at least one set in 194 consecutive matches, 65 consecutive victories on grass, 8 Wimbledon titles, 10 Hale titles, 10 Stuttgart titles, and 10 Basel titles. You alright?
No. You know, Federer got married on 11th of April. The guy just wanted a special day to get married, and what can be more special than, of course, my birthday, so yeah. And also, he gave us actually some hints on his retirement. It's just we didn't even notice, or we just acted dumb, maybe.
Yeah, remember that video where Federer promises the little guy to not retire before they have played a match together? And then Barilla organized that whole event to make that happen. Well, that was the year that Federer retired, keeping his promise to the little kid.
Icon, idol, legend, god with his own mythology.
Yeah, all of these words can be used to describe one of the best tennis players and athletes of all time.
The best.
Yeah, this time we just decided to use a few more, so you can better understand how big of a man Roger Federer is to tennis. You are watching Gladiators Tennis, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
First ever appearance on the centre court at Wimbledon.
He has been the dominant player at the championships. Federer wins Wimbledon.
Quite capable of winning any match he plays on any surface, anywhere in the world.
Roger Federer has made history and won the US Open for the first time.